I think we'll have a play around with really bringing some awareness to our legs and also the lower back. So if you suffer from lower back pain or sciatica, I'll try to include some elements over the next 23 minutes or so. But yeah, the main thing is enjoy. And yeah, as always, listen to your body. Let's not take ourselves too seriously. Yeah, but when I practice yoga, the key component for me is to be able to really send a message of enjoyment and also bring an awareness to using the flow to come to stillness at the end, to really bring us back to our safe space. So yeah, let's get cracking. I'll keep waffling. We're going to, let's come into lying on our backs. Move the block out of the way. If you've got a block or a tall book, just keep your hand to one side. I like to use it just to lift up my hips a little bit when I'm sitting down. Let's lengthen out our legs onto the mat. Let's have a quick play with the core and place our arms out to the side, the palms facing up towards the ceiling. And slowly just start to bring ourselves back. Slowly, slowly, slowly. Engage for the core and then relax down. So I'd like to close your eyes here. Place your right hand on your belly or your left hand, perhaps on your heart. Let the feet flop out to the side. Your left hand on your heart. Just become aware of your beating heart. Let that be a sign as to that's where you find yourself today at this moment during your practice. Are you bringing any stresses, any burdens, any worry with you here? Difficult to release such burdens, but if you can allow yourself the space to leave them off the mat for the next 20 minutes or so. Give yourself the time and the space to just move your body with a sense of freedom, sense of calmness. And hopefully by the end of the practice, you can reassess to see whether that burden is any more lighter. Start to just take the head from left to right on the mat, have a massage out for the back of the skull. Yeah, bring the head to stillness. Become aware of the right hand lifting. On each inhale, as it lifts in tune with the belly, and on each exhale, as you breathe out, the right hand sinks in tune with the belly. So all we're doing here is becoming aware of how we're connecting our breath to our movement. The way our right hand is moving is directly linked to how we're drawing in breath and exhaling out. Take the soles of the feet and place them flat on the mat with the knees pointing up towards the ceiling. Can you keep your eyes closed here or blink them open? I'm going to blink one open. I'm going to just windscreen the knees over to the left and the right, starting by dropping the knees over towards the left side of the mat. This is a nice variation on supine twist. Maybe take the right hand, take it over towards the right side of the mat and take the gaze over towards the right hand. Just stretch into the lower back, some metal hernias and A nice one to come into if you've got any lower back pain. If you're watching this on playback, feel free to come to an extended fold. So you can hold this stretch beyond the scope of what we're doing during these 23 minutes. Let's take the other side as well. So bring the knees back up towards center. Perhaps shuffle the feet over towards the left side of the mat before dropping the knees down over towards the right side of the mat. They may not reach. Again, we're not in competition of ourselves. The success is determined by our knees reaching the floor. Let's take our gaze over towards the left side of the room and maybe fan out the left hand towards the left side. Feel free to place the right hand on the belly. Don't forget your breath here. Become aware if you're holding onto your breath. Let's take the left side again. One more round. Let's dropping the knees down towards the left side of the room. Taking the gaze over towards the right. The final side. Shuffling the feet again over towards the left side of the mat and dropping the knees to the right side of the room. Opening up our gaze to the left side of the room. Excellent. Let's come back towards center. So we're keeping the soles of the feet flat on the mat, and the knees pointing up towards the ceiling, and the feet are hip distance apart. So we're going to start by lifting up the right leg, the right foot off the mat. We're going to take our hands into an interlace. Let's see if we can grab the back of the right hamstring. Start to draw the knee on the thigh towards the chest. If that's not quite there for us, we can maybe grab the front of our shorts or our leggings and use that just to pull the leg in closer. That's one variation, or alternative, you can lengthen out the right leg. So we're pointing our right toes up towards the ceiling. And on each inhale, we're just drawing that right leg a bit closer towards the chest. And we use the resistance of the hands, or resistance of the pull, just to press our leg towards the front of the room. So finding a nice stretch to our hamstrings for number 3, number 2, number 1. It's all coming to a bend. Gently place the sole of the right foot down and coming to the other side. When you're ready, let's lift up through the left leg here. Again, either take the front of the shorts and start to pull that left thigh towards the chest, keeping a bend in the knee. Or if it's there for us to grab the left hamstring, start to draw that knee a bit close towards the chest, or go long with that left leg. Wherever you are, wherever your edge is, use that to your advantage today. Just be comfortable with where that stretches. For number 3. Whilst we're counting down again, another variations to maybe get a skipping rope or morning gown belt and just grab hold of it and wrap it around the back of the thigh. And that can be our resistance. Let's start to bring that left knee down. Bring both knees in towards the chest here. We're hugging and let's rock and roll over the length of the spine. Inhale to rock up. Exhale to rock back. Inhale to rock up. Exhale to rock back. And on the next inhale, let's come up into a seated position. Any which way we get there, gracefully, ungracefully. We can just have a look. It doesn't have to look pretty. Let's find ourselves, the legs lengthen out across the mat. We're curling the toes in towards the face. On the inhale, let's float the arms up towards the ceiling. Deep breath in. And on the exhale, we're bending from the hips. So maybe place your hands either side of the hips and start to draw the chest forward. Long in the back, long in the neck. So we're not dropping down the head on this occasion. Again, we're going to our edge. Feel free to take the hands and place them underneath the thighs. And just use that as resistance to draw the chest a bit further forwards, maybe the back of the knees, the back of the calves. Maybe the feet, if they're within range. If not, again, if you've got a rope or skipping rope, morning gown, belt, you can wrap it around the back of the feet and just grab hold onto either side and just use that as a resistance to draw the chest a bit further forward. Again, just go to your edge. And all we're doing here, with the toes curled in towards the face, is finding a nice stretch into the hamstrings. Quite often when we're experiencing pain in the hips, we're overcompensating in the hamstrings. So when we stretch out through the hamstrings, it helps to relieve tension in the hips. That's why I like to focus on the hamstrings. Give another 2 breaths. Inhale to lengthen, exhale to fold forward. And again, last one. Inhale to lengthen, exhale to fold. Another advantage of keeping long in the back is that we're finding a nice stretch in the lower back here. Start to lift up out of the pose. I'm going to take a bend now in that left knee. And see if we can take the left sole of the foot and place it on the inside of the right calf, and maybe on the inside of the right hamstring. And we're dropping our left knee down towards the mat. Again, it doesn't have to reach, that doesn't determine success. If you've got a block handy, you can also place that block just underneath that knee. I'm going to place our left hand behind us, lift the right hand up, and we'll start to lift up through the hip. Bringing the right toes down and yawn the body open. So facing the chest up towards the ceiling. Feel as if you're just waking up in the morning. Yawn the body open here. And then exhale, let's come back down. Let's come into the other side. So we start by going long in both legs, giving a quick shake. This time we're bending into the right knee. Placing the right sole of the foot on the inside of the left calf or the left hamstring, left thigh. Again, feel free to place a block underneath that right knee. On the inner, let's lift up through that right hand and place the right hand at the back of the mat. We'll turn on our left toes towards the mat, and as we do, turn our chest over towards the right side of the room. We're lifting up from the hip. Lifting up through that left arm, shining the chest, our heart chakra, up towards the ceiling, towards the right side of the room. Really yawn the body open. And let's come back down. Again, just give the legs a quick shake on the mats. And any which way we get, I'm going to turn around and come into our tabletop. So in tabletop, our hands are stacked underneath our shoulders, our knees underneath the hips. I'm going to curl the toes under here. Press our hands into the mat and lift up with the hips as we come into downward facing dog. So I invite to keep a bend in the knees. Walk out through the toes. Let's lift one heel at a time. We're going to gaze to the back of the room and let's come into stillness. Inhale to come up high on the toes, and on the exhale, we're energetically drawing our heels down towards the mats. Taking a gaze towards the back of the room. Take a deep breath in here. And exhale. Keep a bend in the knees. On your next breath, we're going to inhale to lift that left leg up. See if we can take our left leg so it's parallel to the floor. Curl on our left toe towards our face. And on the exhale, maybe come up onto the fingertips. It helps us to stop collapsing. We're drawing that left knee all the way through. And if you need to shuffle the foot forward on the mat, that's fine. We're aiming to place our left foot on the inside of the left hand. So in that sprinter's position, let's drop down together onto that right knee. We're going to curl the right toes. We come into our low lunge, our runner's lunge. This is a nice asana to come into. If we've been out for a long walk or a run or a cycle, we'll stretch out through the hip flexors here. Once we're comfortable and grounded through the left foot, let's start to peel our chest away from that left thigh. We can place our hands on the thigh here. Nice and long in the torso. On each inhale, we're lengthening up. And on each exhale, we're softening into that left knee, dropping our hips a bit closer towards the floor. So here we're finding a stretch into our right hip flexor. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale to release. And again, inhale to lengthen. Exhale to soften here. Almost wobbled out, just embracing the wobbles. Now, if you wanted to, you could also float the arms up so that either side of the ears, so just play with your balance. And let's all just drop the hands down towards the front of the mat, just either side of the left foot. Just shuffle the left foot a bit further forward. We're going to come into a half splits here. So let's start to walk the hands back on the mats. As we do, we start to lift up through the left toes, keeping the right heel on the floor. So the right heel, the left heel on the mats. So we're lengthening that through that left leg. Our hips are just hovering above the right knee. So here we're finding again a stretch into the left hamstring. Again, rather than just dropping our head down, we're nice and long in the back, in the neck. Feel free to just walk the hands forward. If it's there for you on the mats, drawing our chest a bit closer towards that left shin. And that helps us to come a bit deeper into that left hamstring. Now, if our hands aren't touching the mat, stay where you are for a second. Let me just grab the block. If our hands aren't quite touching the floor, again, it's all good. You can always grab a block or a thick book and just place the hands there, just so you're just a bit more elevated. That just help us come into the variation. We have another 2, another 1. Start to come out. Let's take a bend back into that left knee. Place the block to one side. Let's come back to our tabletop. So our hands are stacked underneath our shoulders. We're going to curl our toes under, press our hands into the mat, lift up the knees, downward facing dog. Again, our heels may not touch, they may be lifted up. Feel free to take a bend in the knees. Just really looking to try and take a equilibrium or equal split of weight distribution between the hands and the feet. So we're not too far over, we're not too far back. Hips are high. We're energetically just drawing our heels down. Just coming to the right side. So that, we're lifting up through the right foot. The right leg stays parallel to the floor. And then we're just drawing that right knee through the body. Placing our right foot down. The right side of the foot sits inside of the right hand. So again, let's all drop down onto that left knee. Curl the left toes. Vinyasa. Come to low lunge on the right side. Once we feel grounded through the right foot, let's start to peel the chest away from the right thigh. We're going to place both hands on the right thigh here. On each inhale, get nice and tall through the torso, engaging through the core. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, we're just softening into that right knee. As we do, we're dropping our hips a bit closer towards the mats, finding the stretch for our left hip flexor. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale to bend. Inhale to lengthen up. Exhale to release. The last one, we play with our balance. Just float the arms up towards the ceiling, or keep the hands where they are. Whichever variation we're in, let's drop the hands down towards the front of the mat. Again, I'm going to shuffle the right foot forward so I've got a little bit more space, and I'm going to start to climb into our half split. So walking the hands back. As we come up high into the right heel, the right toes are curled in towards the face. Long in that right leg, finding the stretch into that right hamstring. Again, you can always place a block underneath the hands. Either plane, just walk the hands forward. To help us come a bit deeper into that right hamstring. Start to release out by taking a bend into that right knee. Placing the right side of the foot back on the mat. Again, that's gracefully on, gracefully going to swing that right leg back. As we're coming once again into our tabletop. Curl the toes under, press our hands into the mat, lift up the knees, downward facing dog. Take a deep inhale in. And exhale out. And again, deep inhale in. Sigh out. Still come high on the toes. As we can go today, just tiptoe the feet forward. We're going to meet in our forward fold in front of the mat. So let's take our hands to opposite elbows and just sway from side to side. Again, please take a bend in the knees. Let's come into stillness. We're going to bend into the knees as much as we need. Place our hands down in the front of the mat. And then let's start to walk the hands back. Sit on our bums. Again, we're going to lengthen up through both legs. Get our arms out towards the side again. Facing the palms up towards the ceiling. Slowly come down one vertebra at a time. Slowly, playing to core engagement. And then relax. Let the feet just flop out to the side. Like to close your eyes here. Take one more deep inhale in. Breathe. All the way into the belly. And release. Get one more deep breath in. Release any tension, release any anxiety, any worries. Breathe out. Come to Shavasana for a few moments. We just stay in Shavasana as long as you've got all your intention today. Otherwise, let's take a bend into the knees again. Draw both knees in towards the chest. Let's take an in space in front of the shin as we hug our knees in. As we do, we're finding space again in our lower back. And let's rock up to a seated position. I'm going to turn it face to camera. I'm going to get to sit on a block. Sit my block is just a bit more comfortable for me. Again, as always, listen to your body. Just come into a comfortable cross-legged position. Onto your shins, or feel free to stand with Asana. Place the palms forward. So use this as a moment to close out the practice. Take a deep breath in. Put the shoulders back. Stand or sit up nice and tall and relax. Thank you for sharing your time on the mat, and yeah, I look forward to hopefully seeing you soon. take care and yeah, have a great day. Thank you again, Mark from This Is Yoga. See you soon. Bye-bye.